Yeah, 100%. And I suppose we'll start by looking obviously at that Kerry and Dublin game, obviously in Division 1 South. Kerry obviously 4-9, or Dublin 4-9, Kerry 1-18. There were so many goals that I'm nearly losing my train of thought. But what were your thoughts on the game anyway? It was definitely probably a contender for game of the year anyways so far.
Yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt. I was watching a group of people and they couldn't really believe their eyes. It was so exciting at the end, goals galore, and you really did not know what way that game was going to go. An absolutely brilliant advertisement for football. Dublin were put to the pin of the collars. Obviously another great performance by the likes of Con and Cormac Costello, and it was just great to see such an attacking, nice brand of football. None of this defensive stuff, too natural football and teams going at it. It was just brilliant to see. From a Kerry perspective, obviously David Clifford came up with the goods in the second half, obviously with the penalty at the end. I suppose maybe the discipline on both teams wasn't fantastic. I think Philly McMahon giving away the penalty at the end, for I suppose the experience that man has, for him to do that, I suppose obviously it looked like a goal was on, and I suppose he had no other option. But little bits like that, probably Dublin should be concerned about. John Small going off injured as well. That's probably a big concern for Desi when he comes back from his sun holidays. Me and you were looked off there. But so, yeah, lots to talk about. And it was just a fantastic, fantastic game. You're probably looking at the two teams that will be competing for the All-Ireland this year. Kerry look like they've got their house in order. And just a great advertisement for Gaelic football, and it just had everything, Aaron. It was super.
Yeah, and I suppose because even in the second half as well, like it was interesting, I suppose, to see that. I suppose in the first half, obviously Kerry were definitely kind of playing that more. They seemed to go into that defensive shell that I suppose they received a lot of criticism for, and we kind of seen that at the start of the second half, and then they really just pushed up and really kind of caused loads of problems for Dublin. Like, were you surprised to see Dublin, I suppose, have some of those issues that they had, because they only scored 1-2 in that in the entirety of that second half, and normally that's usually the time where Dublin pull away and use their experience. So what do you reckon yourself?
Yeah, like in fairness, there's a lot being said about this Kerry defence. I think they done pretty good yesterday. Dublin's what was it, 1-2, 1-3 in the second half just was not like them at all, and it was very weird. And it's not like for a want to try, and it wasn't for a lack of forwards that they have. It's nearly they're off the mindset that nearly didn't need to kind of push on and try win the game, and look what happened. It kind of cost them. And another interesting thing as well, and I noticed there yesterday, Dublin seemed to be using the high ball in. I see Niall Scully pumping high balls in as well. So obviously, if that's a new tactic Dublin are going with, it's working for them, because my God, they've the forwards to do it, and they'll be probably doing that this year. Niall Scully had a great game again yesterday. I think he was the man of the match. He was probably my man of the match, to be fair. He got on so much ball, and it's mad. I think a lot of people are still slowly starting to notice his actual influence on the Dublin team this year and for the year gone in as well. So, yeah, a good game. I think Dublin really probably should have pushed on in the second half. It wasn't like them. It's there, like someone said at halftime, right, lads, get us a draw so we can keep our fans and everyone entertained for the rest of the year. So, but look, at Dublin, probably a lot to probably work on, and it's nearly funny to be saying that. There's a few wee things that probably do need to sort out, maybe defensively, but they're absolutely fine going up front at the minute. But then you look at it too. Kerry were very slack at the back, maybe for that Conor Callan goal. Like Scully, like it was nearly like something you'd see in a junior B game. The ball was pumped in. Callan got it, turned his man, and literally just put it in the back of the net. He probably couldn't believe his luck. Some of the goals, Kerry probably still have a lot to do defensively, a lot to work on. But just a lovely open game of football, and it was great, Aaron. Really,
Yeah, 100%. I definitely think there's still a few defensive issues definitely in that Kerry camp, and you could definitely see it in the first half, all right, because there was one stage even where it looked like Dublin could even score maybe 4 or 5 goals. And like, I know for myself, coming out of a Dublin fan, like coming out as a Dublin fan, I'm kind of thinking, how on earth did we not win that game? Because we looked certain to win it at different points in that game, and in the end, I suppose the late Clifford penalty, I suppose, to make it a draw.
Yeah, definitely. And you did have opportunities to kind of finish off the game, but maybe when you look at it, like the likes of Brian Fenton was weirdly quiet yesterday. And
yeah, he played one or two straight passes. Yeah,
one or two straight passes, and maybe it was just kind of quiet compared to days gone by. And obviously, okay, we've a long year ahead of us as well, so he'll definitely kind of buck up his act. There's no doubt he will. But yeah, no, Dublin definitely could have finished off the game. But then when you kind of think about it, did Kerry want it that bit more than Dublin in stages? Kerry's drive was very good. The went at your back line. You've seen halfbacks getting up the pitch, scoring points. I think Paul Murphy got a point late on as well. And, you know, the desire from Kerry was very, very good at the end. And it just really threw the kitchen sink at you. And clearly Dublin are so comfortable in games and they think they'll just win the majority of the games. But it gets their stage that they think, right, do we actually need to put in that effort sometimes because we think we have the game won and they're so far ahead. But Kerry, just at the end, I think wanted it that bit more. They got the penalty at the end. Clifford took it away and just got the draw out of it. But definitely Dublin had opportunities to finish off that game. Kicked a couple of wides as well. I think Kenny kicked a few wides too. So yeah, like you wouldn't I think I was listening to Miles there and off the ball there this morning, and you nearly laugh. But Dublin, you have a bit to work on, I think.
yeah, I know. Like who would have thought it? We're actually the Dubs are actually human. You know, they're not just machines and they're not just robots. Like we do have mistakes and we do have errors. And I remember even saying that last year. Like there is holes there, and I feel like it's more Dublin men that are because obviously you had Kieran Whelan on your podcast and he was kind of saying that as well. Like I suppose at the end of the day there is holes there and there is some weaknesses in that Dublin team.
There is, of course there is, but it's like anything else. They're that much a professional setup. They'll work on these mistakes. They'll work on these wee errors they had at the weekend. They will be so intent on righting any wrong this week, and they'll just brush up on anything they might have had mistakes in. So, you know, we're saying this now on a Monday evening. You come the weekend now, and Dublin will be just blow it out of the water this weekend and be unbelievable. But there's probably a couple of things you could probably look at. The likes of Small, that's a hamstring. You're talking 6 to 8 weeks, probably out potentially for the rest of the season. So yeah, even things like that. But it's just kind of it's a funny thing because like obviously the forwards did do so well and the moved so well, but you know, at the grand scheme of things, as I said at the start a couple of seconds ago, Dublin will brush up on any mistakes that they made at the weekend, and look, they probably will have Galway's number this weekend, you know.